Morning everyone, welcome to Officer 24/7. My name is Niharika Walia Bhatnagar and I am with you with the area of ABFM. In ABFM, what are we talking about? We are talking about Advanced Business and Financial Management for the June 2024 attempt, and I am covering the area of Module A, Chapter number 1 or Unit number 1. The name of the module is Basics of Management. Okay, we're going to talk about the basics of management today. So let's continue further. We have talked about what is management. Management is the core basic. What do you mean by management? Management can be stated as something where we state that management is a way of getting the work done through others, and we're doing that particular thing both effectively and efficiently. We want minimum cost and we want maximum efficiency as well. And every organization wants that we have maximum efficiency. So considering this, here comes the first question. We ended the last class with the area of hygiene. No, we started with the Maslow's need hierarchy theory in the last class. है ना? So now what I've started is moving on towards the next theory, that is called motivation hygiene theory. Achha, this particular theory is also called satisfied dissatisfied theory. Okay, everyone, when we talk about motivation, what is motivation? Motivation is basically an intrinsic factor. Matlab, it's an internal feeling that maybe I just wanted to become someone. That's an internal feeling that I want to be this particular, I want to be at this position. I want this in my life. This is my position that I want in the upcoming future. That's an internal feeling. Then I saw you working in an organization and getting good salary and having everything that I wanted to have. And that is where you are inspiring me. That's an extrinsic motivation. So it can be of both the types. And pata hai, motivation can further be divided into negative and positive motivation. How do we define that? Negative motivation means a set of motivation where you make the other person, you actually challenge that person, that you tell that you are worthless, you cannot do anything. Those kind of things, when you say to a person who you know has caliber, whom you know will really work well, but you push them a bit, you hit their ego, you hit their minds a bit ki, "Nahi, nahi, you are not working hard enough." You are telling them that they are not putting their best foot forward. So that's where they'll start putting their best foot forward and will continue the growth. That is called negative motivation. One is you always come to that particular person and say, "Nahi, you can do this." Now that is called a positive motivation. So when we talk about motivation hygiene theory, in this part, one is about motivation and second is about hygiene. But acha everyone, maybe the organization is very good, has everything that I aspire for. Matlab, it has good package. Organization provides safety security in terms of job profile. The organization has everything that I can look forward to. But there's one problem. uh, the organization doesn't have good infrastructure. The place where we work is really in a bad shape, and then water facility is not proper, transportation facility is not proper. What will happen? Maybe my job is really good, but these allied things, when they are not in a good way, na, I'll leave the job and move on somewhere else where I'll get a better transportation, where I have more safety in terms of the working. So technically, if the infrastructure is good, the basic necessities are good in the organization, we'll never say this office looks so pretty. I think I would like to join this office. This will never be a reason. Your reason will always be the salary package, the job of or that you're getting, and then the salary package that you'll be receiving, then the work profile that you will be doing. How much growth is there in that work profile? So when you are looking forward towards a job, it is the motivation that keeps you going further in the job. But hygiene retains you. Otherwise, you would have stopped it. So retaining is done by hygiene. These things, their presence will never make us believe that nahi, it is a motivation. But their absence will definitely make us dissatisfied that we would like to leave this. For example, cleanliness in the organization, sanitation, lighting proper. These things can never be the motivation factor for someone to join the organization. But these three things, when they are there, they are the reason that people continue in the organization. If these things are not there, then people become dissatisfied, and that particular thing really affects their way of working. Who gave this particular theory? Was it Abraham Maslow, Douglas McGregor, Frederick Herzberg, or Frederick Winslow Taylor? That is F.W. Taylor. Motivation hygiene theory is given by Herzberg. The name is Frederick Herzberg. Herzberg gave the two-factor theory or motivation hygiene theory or satisfier dissatisfier theory. That's the different names of this particular uh, theory. Now let's talk about the next pointer. When we talk about the motivation, how does Herzberg differentiate between motivation factors and hygiene factors, everyone? How are they differentiating between these two things? When we talk about motivation, motivation leads to dissatisfaction if absent, while hygiene factors gives positive satisfaction. Or motivation is a positive satisfaction, hygiene does not motivate if present. Motivation and hygiene are interchangeable, or motivation and hygiene are unrelated. In the workplace, I doubt you cannot say they're unrelated. I would love to work in an organization where I have good infrastructure in that organization. I find that the work is challenging, and overall the working is actually something which I would say ki nahi, this is really good. So this part is definitely out of the window. So can I say motivation factors are positive? They make me satisfied in the work. I want to work in the organization further, but hygiene will never motivate me if present. If the organization has good lighting, that can never be a reason that I feel like, I want to work in this organization just because the lighting is good. But yes, if the working is good and the lighting is also good, I'll be like, this place is worth to stay. Because if you have basic hygiene problems in the organization, na, then even if you are satisfied with your work, you will tend to withdraw yourself from that. Now comes which school of management developed mainly after World War II and emphasizes the use of mathematical and statistical models for solving managerial problems. Classical, this was done during the industrialization overall. And then we have human relation school, which talks about the humans ultimately, that you need to understand that we are humans, we are no more the two machines which are just kept aside and they'll be just sitting there. That was the particular reminder where they said that humans will interact and their interaction will either motivate them, their working style will be different. All those things are inculcated in this particular area. Then we have behavioral school, which talks about the behavior of the people, and then is quantitative school. Okay, in this case, what would be the answer, everyone? If I talk about mathematical and statistical models, it's the quantitative school which actually satisfies the entire point, isn't it? Then, what is the key characteristic of the quantitative approach to management? Emphasis on human relations, collection of empirical data, focus on behavioral aspects, ignoring mathematical models. What would be the answer according to you? When we talk about what is the key characteristics of mathematical, or sorry, quantitative, it is collection of the empirical data. You collect the data regarding the average number of people involved. All those things are included in the empirical data overall. Next thing that comes is who were the proponents of the system school of management. Acha. When we talk about system school, what do you mean by system school, everyone? Management forgets about, if you forget about the management altogether, you'll forget about the socialization, you will forget about the working overall. System school says that overall, na, when the organizations are working, they are working in such a way that they are having an open system. Matlab, if the world is changing, the organizations are also changing themselves. It's not that they are not changing. They are also changing themselves. Otherwise, how will they survive? So they say, Acha, if I talk about my watch, I have an analog watch. I bought the watch. Now, as soon as the battery dies, I'll just change the battery. It starts working. It has nothing to do with the weather outside. It has nothing to do with the working overall. It just stays the same, right? It's a closed working system. Now, if I talk about technology, let's talk about Apple there. Apple as a company has developed a lot in the last so many years overall, right? If I talk about Steve Jobs, his death, and then taken over, then the Tim Cook, I think, took over the particular place. So all these people had been taking over all these years. So many people had been working. If you look at the uh, it was Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak who started it. Then they got a particular person as a CEO, that was John Collins. So Collins was there, and then after him, the Steve Jobs was back into the organization, and then after his death, Tim Cook took over. All these things have been happening, and during this entire period, Apple grew intensively, but they had their own share of failures as well. So, how are they all working? These organizations are able to work just because they are not closed. They are open to the world, they're open to the learning. They are looking forward towards this entire area of learning. So, who were the proponents of the system school? Frederick Herzberg or Douglas MacGregor? Then Daniel Kantz and Ludwig von Bertalanffy. Then we have Max Weber and Henry Fayol and Abraham Maslow and Elton Mayo. Okay, the proponents of system school were Daniel Kantz and Ludwig von Bertalanffy. So in this case, the correct answer is B. So next pointer, why is the open system approach considered important in the system school of management? It emphasizes rigid organization structure. It promotes closed environment for decision making. It allows constant interaction between organization and its environment. It discourages external influences on the organizational actions. Why is open system approach considered important? Um, as I just told you, in terms of open system, whatever is happening in the world, you would be constantly changing. For example, if I sit in my house and I don't go outside at all, then I more or less I'll become very sensitive in terms of the weather and the entire situations that are changing outside, because I'm not going. I'm not updating myself. If there is summer going on, I am still inside keeping my AC on, so I'm not exposing myself to the natural environment. If there's winter going on, heater is on throughout the day, and I'm not keeping myself into that situation again. So then I'm just keeping myself in that particular manner itself, which is wrong. If you have to look forward towards the working system, you have to be open about what is happening in the organization. So in this case, it allows the interaction between organization and its external environment. You look at the environment, you sometimes get opportunities, and you sometimes face threats. All those things will happen, but for that you really have to be open even, na? That is the first point. Then, what is the main objective of the research undertaken by the System School of Management? To understand internal communication, to develop standardized management principles, to handle external environmental conditions, or to enforce strict organizational control. When we're looking at the main objective of the research there, it is to handle, it is C only. It is done in to handle the external environmental conditions. Environmental conditions are basically something which really deteriorates with time if you don't have a control over it. And normally you don't have a control. The political scenario, the wars, we don't have a control, but we have a control over our business now. How do we keep it growing at least? Sustainability is required by every organization. Survival of the fittest is there. So they have to look forward towards this particular part for sure, right? Now comes the next part, which says what is the key idea of contingency school of management. Everyone, no matter how much planning I would make, there would be a day where my all plans will fail, and then on that particular day I might have to prepare a new plan, and then I'll be ready ki nahi, this is what I'm going to do at this point of time, isn't it? So that particular ideology can be said as contingency. Now, what is the key idea of the contingency school of management? That is there is a universal way of managing organizations. There is no universal way. Every organization has worked in a different manner. A few organizations work well, a few organizations survival is never based upon this particular thing, that this organization did this to survive, you do the same thing, you will survive. No. One thing that can be there is, in both the organizations there should be a battle towards survival, the battle towards growth, the battle towards adaptability. That can be there in all the organizations, but you cannot say that there is something universal. Management principles are constant and unchanging. Not really. Again, there are related to the changes that should be coming up. The best way to manage depends on the internal and external environment. And last is, there is a single optimal leadership style for all situations. There is no single optimal leadership style. In life, sometimes even when we are cooking, one particular recipe is used every single time. But due to weather, even if we change a little thing about the spices or the material that we are using, the taste will change. Every single day, the taste is not going to be the same. So in this case, one particular thing that you will always find is there is no single optimal leadership style, right? The best way to manage is you understand what is happening inside and what is happening outside, and on that basis, you anticipate the future. So in this case, the correct answer is the best way to manage depends upon the internal and external environment. Now, what does the contingency school criticize about its approach? Being too proactive, lack of reaction to external influences, failure to provide standard principles for specific situations, or overemphasis on cost effectiveness. Contingency school criticizes. Uh, Actually, it doesn't have a specific standard which is set for a specific situation. For example, if there's a fire, what do you know where it is coming from? If it is on the lower side, then what should you do, right? What people normally do is, if the fire is on the lower side, then you move towards the upper. Then what will you do? You should always move towards the down area ultimately, because the fire is going to go up only, and then you are trapped. Basic things about the fire hazard. This doesn't apply in management. Every single day, one different person might be creating a lot of fuss and fuss in the organization, and then other people are taking care of it. So you just don't know what's going to happen. So, one particular thing is failure to provide standard principles. They just don't have a standard principle for working. Damage internal environment, external environment, ideology of the person, stress level of the person, anything will affect the overall working of a person, isn't it? Now, which of the following is the characteristic of concentration leader behavior according to the Ohio State University findings? I'm sorry. Encourages social interactions, defines structure and business goals. Then we have believes in proper structuring of planning, or involves mutual respect and trust. When we talk about the concentration leader behavior, this particular person is just doing one thing. It involves mutual respect and trust. This particular leader is providing as well as receiving the mutual trust and respect. See, there are two ways of getting the work done through others. Either you keep them happy, or you push them into something they don't want to do. When you are pushing them into doing something which they really don't want to do, over the period of time, that particular employee will get irritated and then look out for some other job, and he'll run away. So this happens. This is what one of the basic protocols that you will find among the people, right? Now comes, what criticism does the contingency school face in terms of the theory development? Being too rigid in its principles, it's just not rigid. The point is, it is not rigid at all. It is way too flexible. Then, lack of money and time investment, not really. People put a good amount of money in making the contingent plans. What if happens? Then they have a plan for it. Then we have the inability to adapt to technological advancements. And the last one is, developing a proper theory of management principles becomes almost impossible. In terms of contingency, it is accepting that when things change, you have to change yourself. So one of the realities is, there is no specific theory, which can be developed there. Developing a proper theory of management principles becomes almost impossible. You just can't, because it is never the same. You're dealing with humans. What do you expect? They're never going to be simple, they're always going to be complex. What is the characteristic of quantitative school or management science? Then ignoring mathematical and statistical models, then lack of emphasis on operations, direction of empirical data, or avoidance of controlled experiments. Actually, quant school is just looking at a lot of things which are hardly, they're totally badly in terms of control. So there is very sorted part of it. In this case, they just there is only one thing, that is collection of empirical data. This is their only characteristic. Rest are not. The answer was wrong. I'll just correct it in the PDF. What is the responsibility of the manager, irrespective of hierarchy or organizational type? Specialized tasks only, planning and organization, leading and controlling, planning, directing, leading, controlling. Once you become the leader, now you just cannot be picky. You have to plan. If people are not working according to your plan, you have to push them. You have to lead them, because leaders play a very important role. Your mentors will determine where will you go in life. And then is controlling, when you are deviating, who's coming to you and putting you back to your track. That part is considered here, everyone. Done. Chaliye. Now this is where I would like to end my session. But before I end my session, have you reviewed our CIB course yet? Okay. I'll be starting with my session for ABFM on 26th of this particular December. So you can be there in my specific batch of ABFM live. And along with that, before I come to that particular situation, we are coming up with our sale. Our official sale has begun. Now, this is the biggest sale of the season, where you can get 81% discount and double validity on your CIIB June 2024 Mahapack. The best part is, if you're looking at this, acha everyone, these are all our packs. I'm sorry. What are the packs that are available for you? Next year is for the area of the bilingual one, and scholars is for the English medium batch. If you're looking forward only to these four subjects, you can take up the scholars batch for English medium. And but if you're looking forward towards the elective as well, then go ahead and pick up the CIB Mahapack 2.0. Under Mahapack 2.0, you get all those 5 electives. You can watch each and every elective and choose the one that you want. There is no sun fast ki nahi, the one you choose, only those recordings are available to you. No, nothing like that. Go ahead and check out all the particular electives, watch the video, decide which particular elective is something that is you are able to get in a better way. Go through the syllabus, go through the particular faculty classes a bit, and so that you can understand which will help you to score more, because ultimately it's about the score, right? Then along with this, you have around 500 hours of live classes. Then you have 20 to 58 ebooks, 1006 videos, previous videos, current videos, upcoming videos, all kind of videos are covered here. Test series also included. So all these things are available to you if you buy this Mahapack. Along with this 10 plus hours of mini marathon, 5 plus hours of Mahamarathon, practice paper, and even doubt sessions. Everything is being done in this CIB Mahapack 2.0. Plus, if there's any revision batch that would be coming up near the examination, that too also available for you. So why to wait? You take up the 3 months era, or you can take up the 6 months. You buy it for 6, you get it for 12 months for the entire year. Go ahead and click on the area of buy now. Use the code Y541 and you will get a discount of 81%. You will buy it for 6499 only, the lowest price. So if you're looking forward to it, then kindly check it out on our website and our app for further details. And if you like this particular session, then please go ahead and share it among your peers, and don't forget to like it as well. Thank you so much. I'll be meeting you now on Monday. Thank you. Bye bye.